YouTube, we're back for more action on the Airbus A380. We just got done shortening these gorgeous landing gear. Okay. Got nice play free. And they are lubed up nicely so they come in and out. And then our next thing is to do this. Now, I was looking at my math from way at the beginning of the project. And my project, I had calculated 9 millimeters here compared to approximately 7 millimeters here on this side drawing, okay? Now, 9 over 7 means about 1.3, not 1.5. But we were dealing with a real image. The problem is I was having such a hard time seeing here. We did the math here. Compared to here, estimating a 6-foot person, and we came up with some estimations. So it's somewhere between 1.5 and 1.3. Okay, so the difference between this and this is somewhere between this being 50% longer or 50% taller from the relative point on the plane and being 1.3 times. Okay, so 1.5, 1.3. So, that being understood, let's peel this thing out and get to work. Now, I've got this quick removable nose section, so this makes the part of the video a little bit easier. Okay. And also I had some wrinkling on this tape, which I don't like the way that looks. I may take the iron to that and see if it self-resolves. I'm going to turn the iron to the middle setting. And obviously we have the main gear that we'll be dealing with, the wing-mounted main gear. But we're not going to do that just quite yet. Then of course we got some lube here. Okay, so studying the way that this landing gear operates, okay, if we need to go to this next notch or the following notch, let's say we go to the following notch, we're going to lose this much distance, okay, on the overall height. So let's just say we went down to this one, okay? That means we'd be losing, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 30 millimeters, which would give us an overall height to the bottom of the, where it goes into the actual plane. We'd end up with approximately, let's call it 64 millimeters. Okay, so 64 millimeters over the height of these, okay? So 64 over how high these are. And so we'll put these square, then we'll go like this, just onto the base. Then I'll run this down to, sorry, I gotta do that again, didn't quite get it right. Okay, that's close enough. So that'd be 45? So let's just call it 46, okay? 46 millimeters. So that'd be 1.39, so it's like right in the middle of our estimation, okay? So if we can get rid of that, that's going to be between our estimation on the old drawings and their estimations on the more recent drawings. So this is my goal here, is to have the actuation right there. Okay, obviously that means this is going to go bye-bye. Now let's look at the nose gear pictures in higher detail. So we're dealing with nose gear right now, so we'll lay that there. Now obviously this looks absolutely not even close to this, okay? For a variety of reasons. So let's study what they are. So we've got basically a solid hub. This is not solid, it's hollow. So that's one strike against it. This thing is like, I don't know what it is. Is that like a kid's play place? I'm not sure. We're going to cut it off. But we're going to cut it off here and we're going to use it as our oleo, okay? So if we cut this maybe here, we can heat it up and bend it back so that the oleo comes down and hits here. because we want to try to bring the oleo out and back in, and that will help with the overall effect. In fact, I may need to cut it about here and then fold it down. Now these, we're going to have this extra piece. Now those actuators here, there's two actuators here that go in, and I believe they do probably the overall pivot of the wheel when it goes in to tuck into the body, but I'm not 100% certain of that. It may also just do the steering too. It could also be a redundant control. Either way, I'm not going to do much more studying on it, so I might keep this little shape right there and cut it, and then cut it, and then I can glue that back on for extra detail potentially, or I'll just leave it off. But for now, I know for sure what I want to cut because I know for sure how tall I want it to be. So step one, make a plan. We're done with that, sort of. Step two, execute the plan. Now, keeping in mind that I've already marked the position of this landing gear on this, but not over here. So we just have to center that when we're done, because the servo is already centered where it needs to be. Okay, so we'll just swing that out of the way. And there you have it, it's fallen out. This may go smoother than the last set, I'm wondering. What the heck is this on my scissors? Okay, so we need to cut this, but I want to try to keep this so I can potentially use it. What are we going to cut it with? It'd be nice if I could cut it without using the cutoff disc, because that's just so slobby. It melts everything. Yes! Yes! And then I want to keep this nice and tight. Tight like a tiger. But it's not very tight like a tiger. So I need to try to figure out the best way to cut it. What do I have for the correct tool? You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use a hot blade. Let's do it. That's weird. I have my hot glue. Oh no, that's my iron. Dang it, I plugged in my stupid hot glue gun, and I meant to plug in my stupid iron, because I wanted to get the wrinkles out of it. So we're going to get this so it's very, 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 very hot. Like it's re-entering the atmosphere on its way from Pluto. Okay, good. Then we're going to cut it right there. Good job, me. Now, I don't know if we're going to use that or not, but it's cut off. So now, in order to duplicate this hardware, you have to understand what we're dealing with here, okay? So we have an octagonal nut position. Oh, I've got a brilliant plan. Let's see if we can find a nut that fits. That would be pretty cool. I'm going to search through my nuts and tell you guys what I find. Okay, so I found some nuts, guys. But they're all too big. Hate it when that happens. Okay, so I need to find a smaller nut. And my objective is to see if I can find one that will be able to be melted back in. If that is an epic failure, which I'm planning on, then we'll have to redo the controls at the top. But so far, really, this is going to be even easier than the mains, because all I have to do is come down to this, measure up an equidistant point to this measurement, and then blammo whammo, ready to go. I'm just double checking something. Now that we got that cut down. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so basically I need to reserve this much. I need to keep that much attached. So we'll have to take down this material here. So no matter what I do for anything else, we're going to do that. Okay, bearing in mind that this is going to be recessed into the model, so you won't see this part, but you still need it to be correct on tolerances. I was afraid I'd hit that. I knew I would, a little bit. Okay, so now this thing, we can bend this now too, so we can get that taken care of. I think I want to have a little more control, so I'd like to straighten it out first to get a little tighter bend. Well, that went smooth. All right, let's get to our reference. So it comes up at like a 45-degree angle, okay? Ooh. Okay, so that's not quite as good as I'd hoped it would maybe bend, but what I hoped for was probably unreasonable. Oops, kind of limp nowadays. Remember, this is not going to be an exact replica, okay? We're not going for the exact replica award here. We're just going for doesn't look completely like crap award. It smells funny. It smells sweet. I wonder what type of chemicals it will kill me out of that. Oh, that's cool. Didn't expect that part to go so smooth. It's kind of flattening out for me. I didn't suspect that at all. Oh, yes. I have a wonderful plan. I know it smells sweet. It's my monocoat iron. Watch this, guys. This is going to be awesome. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going for a squarish shape, and I think what I'm kind of doing is just compromising its integrity a little bit, but I think it's going to be, when it's all said and done, it's going to be pretty awesome compared to what it had been. I mean, it already looks more scale, and we haven't even done anything really yet, hardly. Let's hang that back on there and not touch it. Okay, real quick, while you got the iron hot. Oh yeah, just fall anywhere, people. Okay, here it is. Holy crappers. Yeah, I think that's a little too hot. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, that's getting a little too hot. I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to unplug that. Yeah, that thing's hot too. Imagine that, right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's a little bit too taut. Not sure what the heck happened there, but maybe we'll have to call up Top Coat or whoever built this thing and say, yeah, you have a little problem here, evidently. Jeez. That's ridiculous. I had that set to like the middle. Not to high. I had it on high before. So, not exactly sure what happened there. But we will find out eventually. For now, we're probably not going to do that. Hey, you know what? No, I don't want to compromise it any more than it already is. So the next step for us is going to be to kind of shape this while we're kind of in the middle of that. I'm actually going to try to get this a little bit better too. Okay, so now we can go ahead and cut this down. So I need to keep and maintain this much from this new point, which is going to be right above my thumbnail there. So I'll go ahead and mark this. Okay. This cut's going to need to be fairly careful so that I can potentially melt a nut into it. Okay. You know, if nothing went wrong on this project, it'd actually be really easy. See, we still got a good reference to work with, and we can always glue that end back on if we had to. I have an idea. I am going to use this. Maybe. Hey, that worked pretty good. It smoothed it right up. Now I just need to get the edges. Trimmed now. Cool. I would like to chuck this whole thing into my drill. Alright, let's see how this fits now. Ah, that fits pretty good. And before I get any more excited, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this in here. Oh man, that's a huge improvement already. Huge. By the way, we're going to fix the problem of not being able to ever see these things, being that they're all black. That's what this paint's for, guys. Oh yeah! It's going to be awesome. Got to figure out what I'm going to do with the tires. I think I'm going to peel them off. Alright, so I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to find a nut. I'll come right back. Alright guys, so I came up with a brilliant plan that I hadn't thought of before. This is a nut that is out of a serial port connector hood, and it's still too small, or excuse me, too big. So I thought, why don't I just use something that has a hex drive to it? And myself said, good idea. So now we're going to do it this way. Huh, what are the chances? Well, they're pretty good since you have all the different sizes now. What irritates me is, why is my monocoat iron freaking out all of a sudden? This is 3.5 millimeters. Okay, so it's not a millimeter size. I just love it when these Chinese things have standard size items on them. Because, you know, like, why would they not use metric? They're in China. I never did understand that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could really care less what size it is, as long as I have it. Oh, son of a gun, it's in a between size. Nope. 5/32 maybe? That's probably about as close as it's going to get. Okay, so now, I did not pay attention to which direction this goes, but we can look at the landing gear itself, and we can come to that conclusion fairly quick and easily. Okay? So with this thing over here, keeping in mind if all else fails, we'll just put another control arm on there. It's not that big a deal. This thing's kind of weird anyway. Okay, so it's going to be square. So we need to go this way. So we need the flat. We need the flat. Well, it's not quite that easy. It's not quite square. Dang it. So it's going to be cocked at the slightest angle, like that. So that's the way we're going to do that. So we're just going to start melting this control adapter here. Okay, we got it started. You see? I don't know what the heck is going on with that stupid thing. I'm worried about it now. Okay, now we're going to let this sit in here. It's probably not doing anything terribly productive right at this exact juncture. So, but we're going to leave it there anyway. And we're just going to leave it there. Then we're going to leave it there some longer. We're going to grab the closest thing that can cool it down. And we're going to cool it down with that. Then we'll peel it out. Ooh, that made a really bad hole. Really bad. What the heck? That was sucky. Okay, so now we get to try this, and I doubt it's going to like it. But it'll go, it's just not going to like it too much. Okay. That's hot still. We're going to set this off to the side so I don't accidentally burn myself. Probably should have had a little something to cool that down with before we started. But I didn't, and nobody died yet. So now I got to cut this top off. This little melty part that came out of the middle. And I'm hoping we'll have a little bit cleaner hole underneath. But not looking real promising at this point. Surprisingly, it's actually might work. I mean, that shouldn't be surprising to me. Okay, so I'm going to clean off the debris from this, and I'm going to put some sort of a mold release agent on it. Like a lube. And then I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to do it smarter. So we're going to heat it again. Then we're going to dip it in the lube. And then we're going to stick this into the plastic that's already started to be melted. Okay. A little bit of lube to act as mold release. And we're going to clean it up. And we're going to go for more lube. And clean it up just a little bit. Then a little bit of more lube. And we're just going to find the hole. And let it do its thing. And look at that, guys. We're starting to get the hole where we want it. That's pretty good. We'll leave that off to the side for the moment. So now we'll try to put this in until it wants to go now. Oh, would you look at that, guys? Would you look at that? That's pretty cool. So now all I gotta do is drill a super small hole to receive the screw that would have otherwise. Okay. Okay. So just like this, guys. Now we may have to mechanically adjust this a little bit, and that's really not that big a deal, but guys, that is awesome! That was really not that hard. I mean, it shouldn't have been something we had to do, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. Alright, so now we have to kind of tentatively figure out what this is going to look like, because here's the screw that's going to go in it. That's a kind of a big screw too. Jeez. Why does it have to be so huge? Because if I get this wrong, I'm going to blow up the whole landing gear now. The best way I know how would be to just get on with it. That is some exceptionally hard material. Maybe because we just heated and cooled it like 14 times. Yep, probably. Jeez, it's getting stuck in the bit like crazy. Look at that. That's nuts. I don't know why it's doing that. Probably because I got a crappy drill bit. That would do it. We'll stick the crappy tool bit away. Now the challenge becomes, did I drill deep enough, or is this going to give me problems? We shall find out in mere moments. Let's lube it up, guys. Let's get a little lube on there. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Gorgeous. Oh, wait. Wait! Wipe the lube off, Brian. You're not done yet. Sheesh. You need to still get this ugly thing done. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so this ugly thing also could stand to get a little sandage to just make it look prettier. Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Beautiful and wonderful. Okay, we'll see if that holds up to the rigors of everyday life, or if it's going to work like a Chinese factory one, which is going to break immediately anyway. So we'll see. I can always redesign that complete nose gear assembly if I had to. Not like I have anything better to do. That was a hilarious joke, people. Alright, so this is going to get heated up and squished. But what tool is going to do the squishing? And what tool is going to do the heating? Let's look at our picture again. In fact, we could probably bring this picture with us. Alright, so if these things were mounted, shmyaw, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet if it was mounted like that, because that would be really close to what you have there in reality. I'm going to trim this so it's square. Oh man, that broke nasty. Didn't like the heat, I don't think. Okay, so we're just going to sand this tip down a little bit. Okay, good. So now, heat this way is a little easier to control, but it don't make it any less damaging to the body, the human body. How about we do this? Sorry, I would have liked to have you guys see that just as good as me, but I was kind of caught on fire. Okay, so now this other side, I'm just going to heat it up and then roll the edge. Heat up and then roll the edge. It's surprising how much temperature your fingers can tolerate if you're motivated to tolerate it. Hey, that's kind of cool. That kind of has that same look. I mean, it's not as good, obviously, as the real thing, but maybe if we put it on the other side, it'd be better. Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome right there. I think I'm going to do that. I just got to make a little recess so that it's got a saddle to sit up against the wheels. What am I going to use for a saddle? This. So we're going to heat this up real hot. Then we're just going to press this into it. And guys, we're about ready to run out of memory. So finally something's happening in this video series, right? Finally. Believe me, I'm in the boat with you. I want it to be done yesterday. But it's going to be sweet, and all these little details add up to an awesome plane that makes your heart sink when you crash. Except for that last part, it's not going to happen. Unless it does, of course. Alright, cool. So we got our saddle. Oh man, that's going to be gorgeous. And I think we're good, so we'll glue that in there. So now we just need to get these nasty edges off of everything. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the next video. Okay, so now we've just got to get this material sanded down a little bit better. I mean, these are going to get painted shortly anyway, so the finish does matter, but not super critical. I just assume if we can get it right the first time, it might make it a little bit easier. Now, one thing about this landing gear assembly is that I would like it to not break. And what I was thinking is I might throw a pin through the middle that would receive both of these and align the back of the oleo, the simulated oleo, with this actuator assembly. And then later on when I do landing lights, the landing lights might go right here. Every time I hold this, it's behind, there's some black backdrop. I'm sorry, guys. I promise I noticed at the last second, or I would do something about it. I don't mean to leave you high and dry. Yeah, I think that the pin idea is a good idea. I think we're going to try that, and hopefully it works. And if it doesn't work, then we'll do something different. Okay, so here goes nothing, guys. We're going to take this pin, chuck it into the drill, okay? And you're probably saying, that's not a pin, Brian. Of course it's not a pin. We're going to make it a pin, though. Okay, we're grabbing it, pushing down on a piece of wood, and drilling it like that. Now we're just going to get it nice and toasty. Toastadelic. Toasty enough for you? It is for me. Okay. More heat, people. Oh, that was good thing it didn't hit my finger pad. I missed my mark a little bit. Now quickly understanding we need a hole here as well, but not a deep hole, okay? And that hole is going to give us something to stick this onto. Okay, so we're now into the other piece here, but we're right on the top. So essentially what we need to do is just lift this up a little bit and then redo that last step and we'll be good. Son of a gun. Okay, now I'm going to let this cool. Whoops. I can break the chuck free. Shut off my heat. Put the drill away. Okay, so that's cooling. It's going to be a little toasty here, and that's fine. So now we should be able to... That's ugly. We should be able to break that plastic off of your screwdriver in just mere moments, just like so. See? It's like it never happened, except that it did, and we had it on video. Okay, so let's cut this. Right here. These aren't going to cut. Can't fit the head in. We don't need much sticking out. Just a little bit. And for this part, we just need to stick the actuators on and oh yeah, baby. Except we need to heat it up just a little bit. We're actually going to trim this back just a touch. Okay, let's see if that's better. Does that look about right? Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot cooler looking than it did. And we're going to just get things where we know they are. A little bit of heat. Take those sand marks off. And then a little bit of pressure here. Yes. Yes. Perfect, guys. That is really cool. Now we just need to smooth these over. And I can't believe that happened. That is so crappy. Anyway, anybody who works for Top Coat, you want to let me know what the heck happened? I'd be very appreciative of that. I was about to buy another plane today, guys. But I had such awesome service that I decided not to buy it. In fact, I returned like all but one item that I was going to buy at the hobby shop. And it's unfortunate. It's kind of the way it seems to go most of the time when I go in there. Can't find what you need. They try their best, but and it's just like, you know, keep 4 billion parts in stock. I get it. But I don't know. It just seems like there should be better systems for these things. And I should not be an expert on any of this crap. You know, you should be able to go to your local hobby shop and get all the answers that I'm giving you. That's not always the way it is. Look at that. Nice and square now. Just do that on both sides. Now remember, we're not going for perfection, but we don't want it to look horrible either. And we're not done yet, so don't think that either. Just flattening out the surface is all. And I'll flatten this. Now this oil will provide a little teeny bit of strength. But I mean, it's minuscule. I mean, before I think it was only there because it was so dang tall that they were like, oh no, the gear will break. Or whatever they said. I doubt they said that. It was probably a scale detail. Scale. Kind of like when it says airliner on the wing. Come on, Raymond. You know better than that. I'm sure Airbus was probably like, no, you can't have the rights to our plane. You're going to make the nose look ugly. Just kidding, guys. That's not what happened. I wasn't there. They probably couldn't get the rights to it, so then they had to make the nose different. Don't worry, I'm going to make it better. Yes, it is looking better. A lot better. A lot better. We can knock that away for now. Because really all we're going to do now is just trim off the sharp edges. And remember, it's a lot easier to do this now than it is later. So you might as well take advantage of the stage, and the relative ease with which you'll be able to accomplish this. I know what you guys really want to see. You want to see the maiden flight. You want to see some flaps get installed. You want to see some LEDs. I know what's going on. I'm the same way. But no soup for you! At least not yet. You will have your soup later. Yeah, that was convenient. So, and by the way, I always debate about filming this type of the build process because it's super tedious. And while it may be slightly satisfying to watch and not have to do any of the work, it's probably also a little annoying to be like, oh man, he's gonna get the gear done tonight. And then he's like, wait, he did one landing gear in 3 hours? Yep, that's right. You guessed it. But you know, if you've been watching this channel for any time, you'll know that that's pretty much bound to happen, no matter what the project is. Okay, time to glue it. We're gonna use non-foam safe, and we're gonna have our kicker ready for once. Meaning, I'm gonna have it ready to drip. Excuse moi, folks. That was belcherific right there. Okay, get that drip where we want it. Okay, so now we're just gonna kind of hang it there. Put a little bit of kicker. Get her to kick right in there. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yes. Oh, that is so gorgeous. Now there's the landing gear doors, so you're gonna have your lights here, and then your doors are gonna be right here, and it's gonna be, I mean, it's not a perfect scale match, guys, but it's pretty darn tootin'. You see what I'm doing now? I'm putting a CA over my texture, and this will make the CA make it look smooth. It's gonna be good. Look at it smoking. I love that. Good job, guys. Good job, CA. And then I will put it up here too. Oh no! I hate it when it does that. I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, it's burning my eyes a little bit, so I gotta let it breathe a little. Okay, so if you have CA do that to you, first of all, you can wait till it dries and it is slightly easier. Or you can do it when it's wet, like say if you're filming a video for your YouTube channel. You don't want to make the people wait. So, once you break it free, I had this happen on my tail the other day, and it pissed me off so bad. Yep, right there. I couldn't believe it. I walked over and I thought everything was just hunky-dory. And then I looked down and I said, no! I'd spent the last, at that point, maybe 45 minutes or so, just kind of doing little piddly stuff. I didn't film that because it was so piddly. Oh yes, this is going to be gorgeous. Okay. See how I'm dipping that into the CA? It will not set on the straw. I don't know why. Which is great. I mean, that's a great thing. I'm not complaining, I'm happy about it. Can you guys tell what I'm doing now? I'm beefing it up. I'm beefing it up so it looks like the picture. Let me tell you something, guys. It's going to look like the picture, one way or another. Come hell or high water or 47 videos. Just on this one piece. Oh, that is awesome. I mean, literally, if you walk by this, you would think there was a plane. Like, where's the 2 million pound plane? Oh, sorry, it's a plastic toy. But it does kind of look like it. Except for the wheels. And except for the color. And the shape and the size. But it's better. It's better than it was. A lot better. I'm going to have to get some before and after footage. And just show it. Because this thing, it's looking a lot better now. And I still have one of the most scary parts of this project left. I got to be honest with you guys. The most scary part of the project is going to be the face. Getting that face right. I do not want to chop my plane's head off and have Demon Driver make me one. Although he could probably make a really good one. Maybe it could be a collaborative effort between Demon Driver and Rami and myself. That'd be pretty cool. Hope you guys don't mind the shout out. So I'm just rounding off the end of these, which is sort of stupid because these actuators are not rounded at all, but I figure if they're totally smooth, it doesn't look like any hydraulic lines or wires or anything are going there. And boy, I've seen some guys, they'll go nuts on this sort of thing, and they'll actually put wires and little lines, and it looks really cool. But I mean, I got 4 kids. I don't have time for that crap. Yes! That is gorgeous, guys. Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. We have a little bit of play there. I'm going to build this up so that there's less play. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a super easy process. Don't get kicker on it until you're ready. Pull away from the shaft. Okay? And just work it. Just work it. Just work it. Okay? Fill in the gaps. There's a gap there. This is gap filling. Okay? Just like the thin CA will fill gaps too. It just fills them much slower. So I think it's funny when they call it gap filling. Like, the CA fills gaps. Well, so does all CA, I thought. Some of it is pretty thin, I guess. Unless you're like me and you try to reuse your bottles, and then the thin becomes medium and the medium becomes super thick, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we've built up everything. Probably not perfectly even, but it really doesn't have to be perfectly even. It just has to be even enough. So now what we can do is we may need to go through and just give it a quick sand. But I don't even know if I care that much. I don't think we're going to have to. Okay, so we built up that shaft a little bit. We may want to lube the shaft before we stick it in there. Okay, the reason we're going to lube the shaft is because we do not want it to get stuck. Okay, and if we have to sand it, then we will be able to pull it out and run it across our sand block. Guys, I'm trying my best not to make any comments about this stuff. Oh yes, it's so good. Oh yes, it is perfect. It is perfect. Alright, so this... Come on, line up, you turd. There we go. Okay, it's lined up. Please, please don't give me problems now that I didn't think about. No, it worked. Yes! That is gorgeous! Why are you so surprised, Brian? Well, because I'm a realist. Okay? Well, that was way more easy than I thought. And it didn't take 2 full 30-minute videos, but we're not done yet. Don't you guys worry. I would never leave you that naked and empty inside. Let's see if this screw goes in. Uh-oh. Don't be falling off to the side like that. What is the problem now? I have thoroughly jinxed myself with the last comment. I said how nice things were going. And look where that got me. Oh, you know what I gotta do, guys? I gotta heat this screw up a little bit. I've never actually put that screw into my pilot hole. As a result, this thing is trying to thread that hole right now. And so I'm probably going to have to very carefully lock my forceps onto the screw, heat it up, and then get some penetration. Okay? In that order. Heat it up, and then get the penetration. Okay? It's been heated up. Now penetration, guys. Whoa. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. Get in there. Do you remember how hard it was to drill that hole? Uh-oh. I don't want this to be the problem, because I've got so many different things that have gone right. To have such a stupid little detail not go right would really tick me off. Or to complicate that whole piece that's really turned out nicely. Okay, now you don't want to go crazy and overheat it too much, because then you'll melt all your work. But to be honest with you, as long as the thing goes in, I don't care if it melts, as long as I can leave it there long enough. Sometimes it will give you trouble getting back out, though. So just be aware. Do your best. Man, that's not going in so hot. It's going in. Every time I do it, I'm getting a little deeper. Okay, we're going to lube it this time. A little hot lube. Never hurt anybody. Except for plastic landing gear. And it did actually hurt several of those. Yes. Yes. How much do I need there? I don't know. I think I'm probably further than I need to be. The penetration is successful. Now we're just going to pull out. And we'll probably have to lube it again when we put it back together. Speaking of lube, dang it. I got it all over myself. Hey, guys. I think it's going to work. This is really cool to see a plan come together. It's fun. It's neat to see a plan come together. And I just hope that you guys have genuinely enjoyed it. Because genuinely, I don't know how you can watch this stuff. It's hard enough to do it. Whatever. This is awesome. You guys know it. It's good stuff. Whoa. Uh-oh. I think I may have extruded some plastic out with my last exercise in futility here. So I'm going to have to dig that out a little bit. See what I'm talking about, guys? Yes. Yes. Okay, remember, those things go forward. The cylinders go forward. Okay. Oh, I didn't really get that lined up very good. Oh, I think my servo moved actually a little bit the last time we were screwing around with this. Oh, son of a gun, I'm getting lube everywhere. I had to clean that up. So now my alternate plan for fixing the nose gear to the control arm was much simpler. Is basically get a control arm out of a servo that I didn't need. I have lots of them. And I was gonna basically screw it in. Awesome! Okay guys, I'm pausing it. Okay, got the radio on. We're gonna walk over to the plane. Pop this open. Very gently do that so it doesn't crush my cable. Pull out the battery tray. Grab the extension cord that's conveniently long. Plug in my LiPo. Allow the system to energize. Slip my LiPo into the undersized LiPo holder. Oh buddy, we are so close. I can taste it. That is gorgeous. Awesome. It's like E.T. phone home. I am very pleased with this, folks. Now we take it out so that you can look better. You ready? Let's do it. Oh buddy. Oh buddy. It's getting muchos grandes. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look how much better it looks when the landing gear is not 3 times longer than it should be. I cannot resist. Alright, I know you guys think I'm nuts, but I'm going to taxi this thing here. Oh yes. The first taxi. Okay, that was awesome. That was totally cool. And those landing gear look so much better. Just imagine, like, think about all the numerous hours of wasted life that this crappy landing gear cost me. And the combined manpower of all the people that watched this video that could have been doing something useful. I mean, really, this plane has done a huge disservice to the humanity. But I still like it a lot. And I'm glad you guys came and watched it with me. But I'm not lined up right. Let's see what we can do about that real quick before we call this quits on this part of the video. Oh, that's cool. You get to see it work. It's so fancy. Okay, sliding this under so it doesn't fall. Okay, so we need to bring that back this way. I don't know if I can make a whole position on the servo control arm. I'm going to try to pull this off. Servo clevis. What do you call these things? I guess I think it's a control arm. Whoa. Okay, so that needs to go back a little bit. Ooh, would you looky there? That's pretty stinking close now. Man, that would be such a shame if that thing ripped off into 473 pieces on my first awesome landing that was greased into the ground. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really hoping it's good. Because honestly, with everything being as short as it is, then there is an especially high probability of damage. And that's the only drawback to shortening the landing gear. But I'll tell you what, guys, it's kind of like this. How do you say no? How do you say no to such a beautiful landing gear? It's just gorgeous. And that rudder is like, hey, look at me, look at me. I'm all so cool. Me too. And then the ailerons mixed in with everything else. And then the differential thrust. Differential thrust. Oh no, what are you doing now? Blowing my paperwork around? Come on. This thing's gonna be awesome, guys. I think we're done on this video. The next video is gonna be even better. And when I say better, I mean it's gonna be a lot less complicated, because really all we have to do is figure out how much we want to cut off of these and then do it. And then we may have to trim a little bit of these receivers off. At which point it goes to the paint booth, which means I take all this crap out and then paint it. And I'll let you guys watch that. That's a super satisfying watch. And I'm torn. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint that white, because I don't really understand the rationale behind having it black. Maybe they figure it's supposed to be like the gear opening or something, you know, like where the gear would go in if there were retracts. The trouble is, I mean, of course the doors would all be closed around the gear on a plane this big. So, except for the nose gear, there's 2 nose gears doors that we're going to put on this too. So, and that may or may not come before the maiden, as well as some antennae that look like these. And I'm going to make, I think, 1 big one, small one, and then 1 small one, and then 3 big ones, and maybe 1 more small one. I'm not going to do all the antenna, because there's a ton of antennas on these things. But guys, you know what I am going to do? I'm going to give you another shot of that awesome landing gear that turned out perfectly. And by perfect, I mean it was way too much work. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad you guys watched. Check the link below. Help support our channel. Buy stuff from the things that we picked out. It's all the same stuff you're going to be buying anyway. Just let us leech off of their profits. Keep us in business, folks. Also, like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You know we put these things out way too often for you to miss any of them.